So we have 3 to the third over 3 to the what? To the 1. Okay, so it's really going to be 3 to the 3 minus 1, which is what?
2.
3 to the 2. Okay, because it's just numbers, we leave it just like that. We don't need to figure out what 3 squared is. That's not the answer. Okay? Okay, look at 3. Okay, it's 2 to the 1 over 2 to the 3. So it's going to be 2 to the 1 minus 3, which is what? 2 to the negative 2. Okay, what do we do with negative exponents? Yeah, so we need to draw a fraction bar, and because this has a negative, we got to put it on the bottom, and it makes it become a positive. What goes on top?
1.
1. Does make sense? Yes? No? Okay. Can I scroll?
Yeah.
Okay, look at 5. I'm going to have 4 to the 0 minus 4. What's 4 to the 0 minus 4? Huh?
1.
Negative 4. Okay, what do we do with negatives? We have to put them on the bottom. So it's going to be 4 to the 4. What goes on top? Over 1. Why do we not simplify? What is 4 to the 4th power? Why don't we do that?
16.
No, it's not, but...
It would be 256.
It would be 256. Why do we not write 1 over 256?
We're just simplifying.
We do leave it because why?
We're just simplifying.
Kind of, we are, but, so because these are just numbers, we're gonna leave it. If there was letters, then you'd have to simplify that, okay? Look at 7. Okay, so I got 4 to the, and it's gonna say what? 3 minus 4. What is 3 minus 4? Negative 1. Okay, so it's going to be 4 to the negative 1. Are we finished? Why not? The negative's got to go to the bottom. Okay, so what's my answer going to look like?
1 over 4 to the negative
1 over 4 to the 1. Okay, look at 9. So it should say 2 to the what? 3 minus negative 2. What's a minus minus?
Plus.
It's a plus. So it's really going to be 3 to the, or 2 to the 3 plus 2. So it's 2 to the 5. Are we finished?
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's a number.
There's no negatives. Okay. And yes, because it's a number. Okay, look at 11. 11, it's going to be negative 4 to the 2 minus negative 3. What's a minus minus? Plus. Shh. So 2 plus 3. 5. So it's going to be negative 4 to the 5. Are we finished?
No. Yes.
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 Why? Why does that not need moved?
Because
That's
it's
why
exponents.
we're simplifying and we're just looking at the exponents.
What needs to be negative in order for us to move it? The exponent, okay, or the little number. The big number really doesn't matter, and so this little number is positive, so we're going to leave it the same. Okay, now, I would probably draw yourself a little line or something. We finished with just the numbers. When we move to letters, it's different. Okay?
Harder.
I mean, the rules are the same, but some of you guys get all lost in the sauce. Okay. So, if we look at 13, the same way when we do the product rule, you put the x's with the x's, the y's with the y's. You got to do them one at a time. Okay? So, we can look at this and say, well, there's really a 1 right here for the x to the 1. Okay, so we're going to have a 2 on the bottom for sure. Okay, you're going to have x to the 4 minus 1. X to the 4 minus 1. Okay, and what really happens here, and I can't do it all in the same, but we have x to the 4 minus 1, which is what?
3.
Yeah, so it's going to be x to the 3. Okay, what about the y's? It's going to be y to the 3 minus 2, which is what? At y to the 1. And that's it. Okay, look at 15. Okay, for those of you guys that are tempted, don't work ahead just yet. Okay, 15. We're going to have x to the what?
1.
X to the 1 minus,
4.
which is x to the negative 3. Okay, so when we do all of the operations, okay, what happens really is anything that we do ends up on top, for starters. Okay, so you really have x to the negative 3 up here. Okay, what about the y's? It's going to be y to the 1 minus 2, which is what? Y to the negative 1. It always is going to go on top. Okay, do we leave negatives on top? No, and so everything really needs to be moved where? To the bottom. Okay, and so that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, so you would have x to the 3rd, y to the 1. What goes on top? 1. What's up, Keelan? This one?
1 minus 4 is. It makes sense.
Be nice.
It's all about kindness.
Okay, look at 17.
I'm always nice.
Okay, when you have numbers out front that are going to divide into each other, you need to do that division. Okay, so I have a 2 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. What is 2 divided by 2?
1.
1. Okay, so. Okay, what about the x's? How do I subtract those x's? You can't, and so it's going to stay where it's at. Okay, what about the y's? You can't. It's going to stay where it's at. Where do we put the 1? On the top? Why not on the bottom?
Actually, no.
Because it's positive.
That's on the bottom because you don't have to move
Okay. What's in front of the x right now? It's a 1 already, right? We don't write it on there. What's in front of the y? A 1.
So we circle it.
You could circle it, okay? It doesn't matter if you put a 1 here, or if you just put a 1 here, or if you put a 1 out front. They're all actually there. We just don't write them. Okay, so you could circle it at this point and not put any 1 if you wanted to. Okay? Okay, 19. Okay, we're going to have, and you can kind of keep some stuff the same. So, what is 2 divided by negative 1? Because there's a negative on the bottom. It's going to be negative 2. Okay, so you can write negative 2 on the top if you want to. Okay, what about the y's? It's going to be y to the what?
1 minus 3.
1 minus 3, x to the 4 minus 4. That's a 4. Okay, and so now we can start to simplify. Okay, the negative 2 is going to stay where it's at. What is y to the 1 minus 3? Negative 2. So you're going to have y to the negative 2, x to the 4 minus 4. Rodney, you better wake your butt up.
0.
It's 0. Okay, what is anything to the 0 power? 1. What really happens to it though? What really happens to a 1?
It's not hurt.
Nothing really happens, okay? So if I change this to 1, if I multiply negative 2 times 1, what am I going to get?
0. Wait, what?
Negative 2 times 1.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. 1 doesn't change anything, okay? So you can kind of just cross this off, okay? We need to move stuff around, and so this y to the negative 2's got to go on the bottom.
Wouldn't that change from a negative?
Huh?
That would still be a negative.
Mm-hmm. You would know if you went to sleep. Okay, look at 21.